Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to another episode of Shit's Hard. I'm your host, Amber, and today we are talking about fitness is hard. This one's been relevant to me for quite a bit now. I've been a little bit nervous, honestly, to do this episode because I feel like it's really important to provide educated information, and I feel like in some ways I am educated, but I'm like self-taught, and that stresses me out because I think formal education is important too. So, this is just gonna be more of like an overall general episode, and I'll ask you some of your own insight as well. And then I think I am gonna do an episode later on, hopefully with someone a little bit more educated and informed, to ask questions to and to be able to pick their brain and hopefully get some valuable information because I don't want to like provide information that is inaccurate, but I do want to just talk about my own thoughts and feelings. And so that's what we're doing today. So, a little bit of overview of this episode. We're going to talk about feeling like you don't belong in the fitness industry, and creating a positive relationship with fitness, food, like body and food. I just said food instead of food. Anyways, and then also providing educated information and a little bit about me. I'm currently working on my personal trainer certification. So, hopefully I'll be a little more educated shortly, and then I'll feel a little more confident talking about stuff like this. Even still, though, food is really not on that list. Personal trainers are, they're not nutritionists or anything like that. So, but I have some of my own thoughts and opinions and my own struggles to share, and hopefully that maybe some of you can relate to or feel a little bit less alone in the struggle. So I guess we'll dive right into feeling like I don't belong in the fitness industry, and why that is. So a little bit about me, maybe I've already mentioned it. I've been working on my own for probably like 6 years now. When I was in high school, I played volleyball all year round. I did school and club, so I've always been athletic. When I was in high school, I worked with my own personal trainer, so that's kind of what got me into lifting. And I think it's really good to start with personal trainer because you can start with like someone who knows what you're doing and get down your form and stuff, and then later go off on your own. But I just always felt like, like I don't know. Like I guess I thought if fitness wasn't my whole life, then I didn't have a place in that industry, or I didn't have a place to be talking about. Like I didn't have a ground to stand on to like talk about stuff like that. Like if I was like working out 4 times a week and like maybe I'd miss a workout, I felt like I wasn't disciplined enough or into the gym enough to be talking about fitness. And that's just simply not true. So, I just want to talk about, the gym and gym anxiety a little bit. And it can be really hard to like go into the gym for the first time and feel like you don't belong, or like you don't know what you're doing, or maybe you don't know like exactly how, like what kind of form. And that can be really stressful. I don't know. I don't want to say I haven't felt that way. For the most part now, after 6 years, I do know what I'm doing. But every once in a while, I use a new machine, or I try something new that I've seen, like a new way to do a workout, and I try something new, and it can be a little bit intimidating. Like feeling like everyone's looking at me, and like feeling like everyone knows that I don't know what I'm doing, and they think that I'm stupid or something. There was a time I sat down on some kind of like, it was it's like a leg press, but it's like more like not super like automatic, and like you have to pull the handle to get like the thing to come out. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. I had to Google it. And yeah, so I just watched a little YouTube video and I felt embarrassed, but no one was looking at me. So there was no reason to be embarrassed. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to start talking about fitness because I just felt like I couldn't for such a long time because I felt like I wasn't like into it enough and it wasn't my whole life. And that's a weird thing to think because anyway, fitness is for everyone. The gym is for everyone. If you're going to the gym, just to like stay in shape, that you belong there just as much as the fucking bodybuilder who is there every day for 2 hours, So I'm excited to start talking about the gym and about fitness and my own experience with it. Another thing that I want to hit on is creating a positive relationship with fitness, body, and food. I don't want to offer like my own advice here because, like I said, I'm not like formally educated in any way. But I do want to talk about my own experience with fitness, body, and food, and kind of how my relationship with the gym has changed a lot over time. And I think it's gotten easier because previously I was really working out for, I don't know what for. I just was kind of going because I felt like I was supposed to be going, and it was hard after I quit sports. Like, you're working out for the sport, and now it's like, now what am I working out for? I don't play anymore. And I've never been a runner, so I knew that I liked lifting, but I only was doing lifting workouts for volleyball players or for vertical and increasing your jump. And I don't know, those things weren't relevant anymore, and I kind of hit a point where I was like, what am I doing? And so I kind of had a little like shift of mindset to like, why am I here? What do I want to get out of this? And when I hit my own mental health block of a lot of anxiety, like sophomore year of college, so like, oh my God, almost like 4 years ago. That's crazy. I was like, fitness is really actually helpful for my mental health. And it was like an hour. It still is like an hour a day that I spend. It's just about me. And I'm really glad I was able to shift that mindset because it makes it easier and more exciting to go. Like, I'm more excited to go to the gym when it's all about me. If you know me, I love things that are all about me. So just kidding. Well, not really. But anyways, so I'm really glad I've made that shift. And I kind of am trying, like, this is kind of the shit I'm working on this week and just all weeks, is like making that shift for food too, and body image and like self-talk, and making that all about me, and making my meals and food all about me, and not only making things that I like, but also things that are going to fuel me. Ends up biting us in the butt. Certainly did me. But yeah, with that, I want to talk about social media a little bit. Now that I've been into the gym more and I've talked about it more, obviously TikTok's like fucking listening or whatever the fuck. But I've got a lot more like fitness influencers on my Explore page on Instagram or my For You page or whatever on TikTok. And I would say it's about 50-50 right now that I'm seeing. Like, I've seen a few accounts that I absolutely love and I had to follow. Like, there's this one girl who'll post like 5 reasons to, go to the gym that don't have to do with like aesthetics or body or looks or whatever. And she talks about like, your heart rate, your cardiovascular, and your stress. And I just really like that she's kind of just using her platform to just bring awareness to like, hey, you don't have to go to the gym for physical reasons. If you don't have any physical body goals, then there's no shame if you do. But if you don't, you can go for mental reasons. You can go for physical reasons that you can't see, like respiratory and cardiovascular and stuff like that. So I thought her account was really cool. But like I said, like it's 50-50 and the other half is still there, kind of stuck in this like, I don't want to say self-hatred mindset because I don't want to like shit on anybody, but some influencers are just like very fit people, obviously, and they kind of are always making videos about like the healthy alternative to some kind of food, and adding protein and making every food you have protein food, and adding protein powder to like every cookie that you make or something. I don't know, like, and there's nothing wrong with having stuff like that. Obviously, if you enjoy that, you should do that. But I guess I just like, I don't know. It's like there's something about like calorie counting and macro counting is like, is it educational or is it detrimental? And I've been thinking about this because I don't really know, because truly to an extent, there was a point in time where if you asked me, hey, Amber, how much protein, like how many grams of protein is in a chicken breast? I literally couldn't even fathom a guess. I'd be like, I don't know. So I do think like when you start to like look at nutrition labels and you start to kind of become a little more aware of macros and calories, it can certainly be educationally helpful, especially with forming your own meals. If you're going to be working out more and you want to get more protein in, or vegetables or whatever, or carbs, or healthy fats, I think like it's really great to read a nutrition label and like just kind of, or whatever, and just like Google stuff and learn stuff. But also with my own personal experience, I know that MyFitnessPal fucking haunts me because that app, there's nothing wrong with MyFitnessPal if you use it or anything, but like, it's a calorie counting tracker app that I used to use. And I used to like track every single meal that I had 3 days a week, three times a week, or 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my fucking scrambled eggs, my fucking coffee, whatever. And it was to the point where I knew that there was 30 calories in a tablespoon of my coffee creamer. And I'm going to be really honest here. I was measuring out my coffee creamer at a point in time. And that was kind of the line for me. That was kind of like, you know what? This isn't it. Like, this isn't like something long-term I'm capable of doing. like with my fitness and my own relationship with body and food and the gym, like I want to have longevity. I want to have these habits that I can do for the rest of my life. And I just can't be measuring out a teaspoon of creamer when I have my coffee. It's just not healthy. It's not necessary. And what happens if it's not sweet enough and I have to add another one? And what is that going to like make me feel guilty for the rest of the day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think. I think I am going to put a poll on this video or on this podcast that just asks, what do you think? Is calorie counting or macro counting, I guess, both? Is it educational or detrimental? Let me know what you think, because I'm curious. But I think with that is also like, I don't know, I think there's like 3 branches to like, at least for me, of having like a nice, like just general overview of health is like your physical activity, your self-talk, and your food. And self-talk, I guess mostly I mean like mental, but like for physical activity, like I feel like it's important to like, and like I said, I want my own like relationship with fitness to be long, like longevity. I want to be like still on this track when I'm 40. I'm 22 right now. So like I'm trying to personalize my workouts, not only based on my goals or whatever that may be, but also my interests. I really like lifting. And so I do that 4 times a week because I enjoy it and I get a little bit of a sweat out of it. But honestly, I don't fucking like cardio, and you won't catch me on the fucking treadmill. Like you just won't. I mean, sometimes I'll do like an incline walk, but like, I just don't fucking like cardio. I am currently trying to like get in another, maybe like a day of cardio. Maybe I'll go to like a class, like a cardio Zumba class or something once a day. But I do think it's important to personalize your workouts based on your interest. And that I like feel like is not talked about often because we're so focused on our goals. I want this, so I have to do this to get that. And it's like true. But if you're doing workouts that you don't like, you're probably not going to stick to it. And that's more important to me, is to just stick to what I'm doing. Because honestly, I don't really have that many body goals. I think my body's fine. I enjoy it as it is. And I think as it changes with the workouts that I do, I'm fine with that. I like the way my body is with lifting as well. So I don't really have any like thing specific. And I don't want to get into nitpicking my body either and getting into like, okay, well, I'm fit, but like, oh, like, but like my hips aren't wide enough, or like my shoulders aren't, or whatever, or my waist isn't thin enough. I don't want to go down that path either, because I think I'd rather just enjoy the workout, because this is something that I do an hour a day, like 4 to 5 times a week. And I just want to have fun there. I just want to go there and have a really good time and get a really good sweat in and not think about anything that's stressing me out or pissing me off. And then I sit in the sauna after and I get to relax in there. And I really like sitting in the sauna, which is why I do it. I mean, I've heard there's health benefits, but I've also heard in order to get the health benefits, you have to be in there for 30 minutes. And I set a timer every single time that I only make it to like 15 minutes because I fucking can't, because it's just too hot in there. But I don't care, because I'm also having fun in there too. Like I like it and it feels good for 15 minutes. So like whatever. But the same goes for self-talk. It's like, or slash like, I guess mental health, we'll say. But I feel like it's the same in your head of like changing the narrative of like, I don't know. Like I feel like with working out, and I've definitely felt this way because my body's changed a lot over, especially since I was in the best shape of my life when I was in high school. And I don't look the way that I looked in high school. And sometimes it feels like, oh, she was so much skinnier, she was prettier, whatever. But I feel like with the gym, like for myself, I needed to meet myself where I am right now and acknowledge myself for what I look like right now, and how much I weigh right now and how much I can lift right now. And acknowledge that, like, she's fine. She being me. I'm talking about myself in third person. She looks great. And she's healthy. And the body that she's in gets her everywhere she needs to go. And it gets her through the day. And it keeps her going. And there's nothing wrong with what it looks like right now. And if we're going to improve upon it, that's great. That's wonderful. That's exciting. As long as we can acknowledge that she's fine where she is now, and she'll be fine in 6 months if she's more fit. And neither of those girls, again, talking about myself, are more valuable than the other. And I feel like that's the narrative and self-talk that I needed to get into in order to like have a positive relationship with fitness. Was like, because either way, your body's going to change over time. And even in like, and even not even in like, not in ways that are as physical, like I can't like see them as much, but like like I said, I used to have a personal like lifting trainer when I was in high school, and I was lifting way more than I am now. I feel like partially that's because I don't know, someone else was doing my regimen. I don't really max out ever because I don't like to. But also I never have a spotter, so for me it doesn't really feel safe. So I could do a lot more when I had like people with me. But yeah, I had like even a record at the high school for, I don't even know what it was now. It might have been deadlift or something. I have to ask someone what it was. But yeah, no chance in hell I could do what that was now. Like, I definitely couldn't. I don't want to say weaker, but I'm just in a different place in my fitness journey now. And I definitely can't squat as much now than I could then. And it's just been a short amount of time, 6 years. But I don't really care to either. You know, like sometimes I think about it and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like, I liked being strong. That was fun. I like being strong. But I'm still strong now, you know, and I just don't have the same goals. You know, like I said, I was working out for a different purpose. I was working out to play volleyball because I was in sports, and now I'm not. So I'm not really working out for to have a better vertical or to be able to stay low for an hour during a game. And that's okay. Like, I think all of that's okay. And like, to go along with the same thing, like the same thing goes with food, is like, again, not only meeting yourself where you are now. It's totally fine if you're eating out, you know, all the time. You know, you're not more valuable or less valuable of a person if you're eating out or cooking at home or whatever the fuck. But just meeting yourself where you are now and knowing like you're excited to better yourself, but bettering yourself doesn't mean that past version of yourself was shitty or less valuable. But also, like, to go along with what I was saying, like personalizing your workouts based on your interests, the same thing is to go for food. You know, if you don't fucking like broccoli, just, you know, just don't eat broccoli. I don't know, like, you know. Or obviously you can try to, like, that's great about food is you can cook it different ways and try to personalize it to your liking. But again, yeah, if you don't like a food and you keep making yourself eat it, just doesn't seem like it'll be a long-term thing for you. And that's kind of my own goals with fitness and food and self-talk and mentality is like, I want to create even these food habits that'll last me a lifetime. So like, my first food thing that I am really big about is eating at home. And that's mostly because a lot of times when I eat at restaurants, something in the grease doesn't sit well with me and I feel like a literal, like, I just feel like shit sometimes. My stomach hurts so bad. So that's my number one reason, is because it's about how I feel. It's not about being skinny or whatever. You're not allowed to have a nugget from McDonald's. Like, no, it's really like, I will feel very shitty if I have like I had Shake Shack the other day. It was so fucking good. I got a chicken sandwich. It was so crispy. Shake Shack's really good, actually. I'm actually not even a big fan of a ton of fast food places, but so good. My stomach hurt for like actually 4 hours after that. Like, it was starting to hurt while I was eating. I was like, fuck. But it was so good. So I ate it anyways. I don't really regret it, I don't think. I mean, I did the 4 hours after, but so that's kind of my like first step in my food, is really how I feel. But on top of how I feel, it's what I like, you know, like, I don't want to eat. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of salads. And I know that's really big in the health industry. It's like, oh, eat a salad, you know. I don't fucking like salads, really. I mean, honestly, I'm like a child when it comes to salads. I'll like get a Caesar salad or nothing, which, no shame on the Caesar salad. That's my favorite. But other than that, I don't really like salad, so I really don't order it or make it at home. Really, I never really make salad at home. But it's like I said, like, I try to create meals that I like that are also good for me, or if I'm craving something that isn't good for me, adding to the plate. So like, I like Kraft mac and cheese. I do. I'll be the first one to say it. You know, it's fucking like $1.99 a box or whatever the fuck it is, and it's really good and I like it. And if I'm like hungry and tired, I can eat the whole box in one sitting, and that's just dinner. But the other night I was like, I really want some mac and cheese. You know what I'm going to do? But I was like, I don't want to eat the whole box. I don't want to feel really shitty afterwards. And I was like, I'm going to make the mac and cheese. I'm going to have a helping of it. And then I'm going to do chicken on the side and some broccoli on the side and like stack my plate with some other food groups in hopes to not only feed that craving of mac and cheese, because if you want the mac and cheese, eat the damn mac and cheese. But also have some protein, have some other things that are gonna, one, help me feel a little bit less shitty, because if I had a whole box of mac and cheese, I would not be doing well. But yeah, and also kind of feed that craving a little bit too. So yeah, the same thing is to go for food. Like, and that's what's great about food too, is, well, for one, food's a life skill. So if you don't know how to cook, there's no shame, but like, it's the same as doing laundry. You should at least know like basics. But food is fun too, because you can experiment with it. And honestly, the same can be said for working out too. Is like, you can experiment with working out, and you can do like, you know, maybe you love running, or you love Zumba classes, or maybe you love the elliptical or whatever. Like, there's a million different ways to work out. And I think that's what's really nice about it, is like, you don't always have to be working out for like your goals. I personally, like, I don't even have workout goals really. I just like going. I just like doing it. I just like being physically active there. And that's why I feel like what keeps me coming back is because I'm having a good time there. And it's not really, for me, it's not really about progress. Now, that's not to say if you're there for progress, that's a bad thing. No, absolutely not. If you have goals and you're sticking to them, that's amazing. And that's your way of like personalizing your workouts. Maybe like even like my boyfriend, so we're both pretty like gym people. But we always go separate. We never go together, because we're both really big on like our own gym journeys, our own. And it's not to say like, oh, it can't include you, but it's like, it's our time to spend time with ourselves. And that's really important. And he's really big on goals. He's like weird about it. He loves tracking things. He loves checking in on whatever this is and body fat percentage and whatever. And that's what keeps him going. And I think that's a really great thing, is because that's his way of making it his own, is tracking his progress and getting excited and getting to see where he is versus where he was a month ago. For me, that doesn't really excite me for some reason. But other things do. So, and that's what I meant to say about like food, is like, it's the same with food. You can experiment with food. There's a million different ways to cook things. And that's what's great about food too, is you can follow a recipe, but you can change it, and you can substitute things, and you can make it your own, and you can cook your chicken however you like. And that's honestly the best thing about food, is like, once you get cooking, like once you get good at it, not even like amazing or like a chef or anything, but I just mean like, once you get good at it, you learn how to cook your food and how you like it. And everything's personalized to you, you know, especially even when you go to a restaurant, it's not like that. You know, all that stuff is kind of just cooked like chef's choice, and however chef prepares it. And that's good too, obviously, but that's what I love about food. And I am all over food talk, because I love trying new recipes and just seeing what other people are cooking, and like seeing different ways that I can like sneak vegetables and fruit into my own diet. Cause I'm actually not big on vegetables. Yeah, so I'm not big on vegetables. I don't know why. It's not like I'm like not, I just like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But like carrots, I'm not really a big fan of carrots. And I want to buy like, I want to have more like snacky vegetables that I don't have to like full on cook. So obviously that takes out like squash and stuff, which I kind of like zucchini and stuff like that, and like roasted asparagus. But I needed more like snacky vegetables, and I was like, I don't really like carrots. Like it's like the easiest, most common snacky vegetables, like carrots and ranch or whatever. But I was like, I don't know, I'm just like not really feeling them. But I saw this TikTok where this girl was like going over food storage and like storing your vegetables to make them last longer, which I needed that video, because none of my vegetables last. I mean, they do, but they don't. But also, I do not store them properly at all. I literally throw them in the fridge as soon as I get home from the store, as is, like in whatever fucking bag that they came in. So I was like, shit, I can be making this shit last longer. So what she did was she had like the bigger carrot sticks. They weren't baby carrots. They were like big carrot sticks. She like shaves them, cuts them in half, puts them in like a jar, and then fills the jar like halfway with water, and then puts that in the fridge. And I was like, oh shit. And she was like, yeah, this keeps them crisper, they last longer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh shit. So I bought those carrots to try it. And I bought the colorful ones. Like I was like, the orange are boring to me. I need something that's gonna excite me in order to get me to eat these. I got the colorful. It's like a bunch. It looks like they just fucking pulled this bunch right out of the fucking ground. Like the tops of the carrots are still on. Like this literal 1 foot like leafy green thing is on top of the carrot. But anyways, so I get the ones that are colorful. They're like purple, yellow, and orange. It has like all three. And I have this jar, this is my specific carrot jar, and I like shave the carrots and I cut them up. I put them in the jar. I fill it halfway, and the jar is clear. And so when I have it in the fridge, I always see it when I open the fridge, and I'm like more, for some reason, I don't know why this works on me, but I just like, I'm so more excited to eat them, and I like them in that jar, and I like the colorful ones, and I was like, this is working for me. Like, I'm enjoying having my carrots this way for whatever fucking reason. But it keeps me eating vegetables, and that's, it works. So, you know, or I actually saw this this recipe the other day. I'm gonna try it this week. But it's like a like chicken salad type of thing, but it's not chicken. But it's like, it was like walnuts, cut in half grapes, broccoli, and like something else. And then she had like a little sauce over it. And apples. And it just looked really good. It was like a fruit salad-y kind of thing. But it was giving the vibe of chicken salad with no chicken. But I was like, that looks really good. And I'm not eating enough vegetables. Like, this last week I didn't even have, I probably had honestly 1 carrot stick over the course of a week. Because I just didn't buy any. So I'm going to try the recipe. And I'm super excited about it. And that's another thing that I love about food is you can try new things. And you know what? Sometimes you might try something and it might be bad. But that's okay, because I've been there and I've done that. But yeah, so that's kind of, you know, shit I'm working on this week is like just keeping that positive relationship, because I really want the longevity to be there. I want to always opt for eating at home, or especially like when and if I have like my own family. Like, I want to cook for them too, and I want to like eat together at home, and yeah, and I want these habits to like last a lifetime, you know. But I also, like, again, to go with that, like, I never want to restrict myself from a food that I like either, because it just doesn't sound worth it to me, you know. Like, at the end of the day, this life for all of us ends the same way. We'll all be 6 feet under, and it won't matter if you had chocolate cake once a week or once a year. It just won't matter. And so I'm like, you know what? While I'm alive, I am gonna eat things that I like. I wouldn't say necessarily I have a sweet tooth. I just like some like really specific desserts. Like, I like sugar cookies a lot, and like vanilla stuff. That's so fucking boring. As I know, I don't like brownies really, or I don't really like ice cream either. But like, I love like going to like a really nice local coffee shop with like such a nice bakery and getting like a local fucking baked good from this cute little coffee shop that's a little pricey. But, and then it's like, that's what I want. That's like my treat. And I don't want to restrict myself, because I certainly was at a point in my life before where I like wouldn't eat desserts or stuff like that. Or if I did, I would feel so guilty about it. And then I'd feel like I needed to go to the gym to work off the fucking cookie or whatever the fuck. And it wasn't like a way to live. Like, looking back, and especially when I was in that time, it isn't a way to live. It's not like, it's just like not, it's not gonna last, you know? Like, I'm not happy that way. And especially like with eating, you know, I think a relationship with food is really important because you do it 3 times a day. You know, that's a lot. And if you don't have you know, that relationship isn't there, that's literally 3 times a day you have to deal with that problem. So I just think food's really important, and that's something that I have actively been like focusing on as of lately. I'm trying to cut down on coffee because I've been working early. Like, I have to be to work at 7, and I'm like trying to not drink coffee before then because I'm trying to like not get addicted. But I've drank coffee like every single morning, and my mom just got me the KitchenAid espresso machine for Christmas. It was a good gift, let me tell you. I've been using it every day. Every single day. And I'm like, all right, this is a bad habit. This has gone a little bit too far. But I still don't want to restrict myself either. So I'm like, I do like coffee and I enjoy drinking it. But also, yeah, I don't want it to get like out of hand. And that's only for like, not only like health reasons, but also just like, you know, like having a caffeine addiction, like, you know, and then maybe one day having to like withdraw from it, you know, that's, and like that sacrifices my own comfort too. And that's really important to me, is like the foods that I'm eating is like, do they hurt my stomach? Are they going to make me feel shitty? Coffee is never good for my stomach. Like, literally ever. I never feel good after I have coffee, but it tastes good. So that's all that matters. So that's the shit that we're working on this week. Is just cultivating I've been cultivating my relationship with fitness and trying to just make it like a happy and exciting thing, because it should be. Like, I want to be excited to eat. I want to be excited to make food. I want to be excited to go to the gym. And I know, like, with negative self-talk and restrictions, that's just not going to be feasible. But more to come on that. I think I do want to do another episode, hopefully with someone else who does have a formal education background, and have a really good conversation with them, and hopefully get like some really good information from that. So I am, like I said, I'm still, again, shit we're working on this week. I'm also working on my personal trainer certification. So I'm excited to do that and be a little more educated myself on the fitness industry, and kind of like what needs to change, and how to be helpful to other people. Because I'm excited to help other people, especially in the way that other people helped my fitness path, journey, whatever the fuck. So I'm gonna leave some questions, some polls on this episode. So you can go answer there. One of them is gonna be, what is your relationship with fitness? And that's an open-ended question, so you can type your answer. And then I think I'll just have a little yes or no question, which will be, is counting calories or macros educational? I was gonna ask, or I guess I could do, is counting calories educational or detrimental? We'll do that one. And we'll do those two options for answering. So thanks again for joining me on another episode of Shit's Hard. I'm your host, Amber, and I'll see you on the next one, because this shit is hard. It really is.